Good morning, everybody, and this is your DAX day trade setups for today. So, the US Feds raised interest rates yesterday, and the American markets responded by falling, but Euro USD is climbing. So, what's going to happen in Europe today is a very good question. Now, looking at the 8-hour, we're in amongst the moving averages, so that is ranging. We shouldn't be paying attention to any long-term structures here. And then we have I won't say a grouping just yet, but looking like a separation of the oscillators with a potential of them rolling over. And if that is the case, then we are in for a little bit of fireworks to the downside. Now, I'm going to put this level in here, which is where we are, and look to the left. You can see a lot of interest here. Let's just put the other level just above it. I'll pick that one there, because then that covers all these tails here. And look, there's tails, there's a rejection. So let's just look at the logic here. Oscillators are indicating potential move to the downside. We've had a strong move down, a little bit of divergence here, and then we climbed. So we're back in a zone. Now the question is this zone going to be support or is it going to be resistance? And what I'm seeing here looking like it's going to be resistance, but that would have to be below the tail here of this red bar before we start paying attention to that. Now the rejection higher up, if I just put my cursor on, look to the left over here, you can see lots of structure here that we rejected off. So we can go either way, is basically what we're looking at. It's almost another coin toss situation. So look at the 3-hour, we're now eased off and separated, but also in amongst the moving averages here. So strong possibility for a continuation to the upside. Yeah, this is kind of typical of confusion. And if you look at the 1-hour, have a good look at the moving averages, the oscillators, all grouped to the downside and crossed over, but again we're in amongst the moving averages here. So on all 3 time frames we are in amongst the moving averages. There is nothing indicating that we have potential for a move down, apart from the strong move down, a little bit of a gap up here, and we're coming up to test structure in the area we are now. So if I drop to the 15-minute, and even the 15-minute is in amongst the moving averages, so it's a clear confused setup at the moment, but nevertheless we'll see if there is something for us here. So let's ignore what we're seeing now at the moment. So we're up in this zone. If we get a rejection of this zone, I would expect another move down, and that move down is going to be equal to this here. Okay, so that takes me down there. Now if we just put a Fibonacci on this here, you'll see we're at the 50% Fibonacci. 61.8 is just a little bit higher, and if I readjust it to there, you'll see we sort of in between the 50 and the 61.8 Fibonacci. Have a look what our measured move would target. And that would be this bit of structure here. A gap there? No gap there. So let's just get rid of some of the noise quickly. Okay, so that seems to be the logical play at the moment, looking at the 15 minutes. So you'd be looking for some kind of rejection here, so wait for the market to open. If you get the rejection, it is kind of a 50-point stop loss, so it's well worth the trade. Even extending your stop to above this tail here is all still a 100-point stop loss for potentially 200-point gain. So anyway, that's kind of the outlook I've got at the moment, but I'd be very wary of this It can flip to the upside anytime. And if you look at the 5 minutes even in amongst the moving averages here, that's always a sign of indecision. I don't see any other gaps or anything up here. So anyway, that's kind of my really confused outlook for today. We need to reject something solid, and for me, this is the rejection I'm looking for. It's 15192. And in fact, I'm just going to take this level out. I have no interest in that level. There are these two gaps to the downside, three gaps. There's a gap there as well on the 15 minutes. So I'm looking for price to come down, come back and reject this area properly. At that point, we will look at an opportunity to the downside. But your moving averages are pretty much all over the place. Oscillators are all over the place. So there's nothing concrete just yet. But that's the view that I have right now. The converse of this would be a move to the upside and a pullback and a bounce off 15211 for a move to the upside. But I think that would probably be capped by this area here, which is 15291. Anyway, that's kind of what we can see. I'm not entirely convinced of either one at the moment, so this zone here needs to be rejected properly for us to move down, for a second move down to this level here at 1500. 1500 is a round number, so it does make sense that that would be tested again. But anything's possible, and this was a strong move up. It could form a flag. There's so much that could happen, but I think that's kind of my view at the moment. Be very careful. I wouldn't just jump in for the sake of jumping in. If there is structure, then it's worth the move to the downside. If there's no structure, then I'd be very wary of it and just sit and wait for something better. Hope that helps, and we'll catch up with you tomorrow morning. Cheers for now.